Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today for your daily dose of dead, we're going to be talking about a lot of Walking Dead stuff. But for those new here, Daily Dose of Dead doesn't just cover the Walking Dead, mainly does that and zombies. We love zombies here, but it also covers monsters, slashers, a lot of the horror genre. If it has to do with dead, we like to talk about it, but mainly zombies, because I love zombies. Anyway, a lot of articles are coming out today about Lauren Cohan, who plays Maggie Rhee on The Walking Dead, possibly getting spin-offs. Now, I know this sounds really weird. The first time I heard it, it was this article from Hollywood Reporter. I was out doing some shopping. My daughter's sick, getting her stuff to make chicken soup. You know, it's good for the soul, I hear. Anyway, so this notification pops up on my phone, and this article's talking about a spin-off, and I'm like, wait, what? It was like a slap in the face of cold water. Why? What is the purpose of this? Even if she comes back, and this is the first thing I'm thinking, even if she comes back to the show in season 10, do I really give a shit what she was doing between season 9 and 10 if we know where she ends up? What is it going to tell us? Oh, look, here's Maggie. She goes with Georgie here. They solve some issues, and then she's back? I mean, unless there's something epic, some grand epic villain she helps defeat, or she helps create this community, what is the point of this spinoff? So it got my brain thinking, why would they go the route of a spinoff? I love Maggie. I like her a lot. I don't care about a spinoff. My first reaction was, I don't care. I want her in, and it's not that I don't care, because I know there's going to be some people that are going to be like, you want Maggie you want Maggie back, you want Maggie back. Oh, look it, now we got a Maggie spinoff, but now you're not happy with it. Make up your mind. You know what I mean? I know there's going to be someone who's going to say that, but my thing is, I don't just want Maggie. I want her in the story that we have. It's bad enough we're losing Rick, and he's going to be on his own little adventure for a few years. Hopefully he's going to reunite with some of the cast when they finally end out this storyline in the world of The Walking Dead for the TV show characters, or the current ones, or the ones we've been following for years now. But I want her in the current storyline with the Whisperers and everything going on after that. Negan's still out there. How is she going to act with him out, and yada, yada, yada. So, my brain's thinking, this feels like a plan B, because Whiskey Cavalier is getting a little bump of confidence from the studio, and they're putting it after the Oscars or something like that, which is a pretty big deal. So, Whiskey Cavalier is getting a good bump, and there's a good chance it might get a season 2. If that happens, there's going to be some serious difficulties with her scheduling her work on The Walking Dead and her work on Whiskey Cavalier. And I believe in one of the old interviews there was some industry standard where, even though she is from The Walking Dead originally, they usually only allow a small window of opportunity for her to go to a different show. And I forget what the reasoning for that was. I think it's kind of like an older rule or whatever, but it's kind of like we want to keep our talent here so you don't get your Lauren Cohan fix on The Walking Dead. If you really want to see this actress, you got to follow her to the new show. If I remember correctly, it was a little something like that. So I'm thinking, what is the point of this spinoff? What if it's a plan B? Now, a plan B could be, if we can't get her on The Walking Dead fully for season 10, season 11, what if we can only get her on for 3-4 episodes in season 10? Something happens and she has to go back over to Georgie and her people. She can't leave them hanging. Even with the Whisperer stuff popping off, she's got to be able to bounce back and forth. That's another thing. I can't imagine her coming, the Whisperer stuff, and then she leaves, especially knowing Jesus is dead. But I'm just saying, what if the plan is to have her bounce in and out, so that way they can work around her schedule on this Whiskey Cavalier? And again, what we notice, or what we can kind of speculate is going on behind the scenes, is AMC is setting up the foundation of this skeleton platform, which is their AMC premiere. And I say skeleton right now because it's in the beginning stages. It's it's just starting up. And I strongly feel it will grow better if it's not an add-on and it's its own separate thing. It's easier that way. You got internet, you got a profile, you paid them a couple bucks every month and you're good to go. And then they got to add on the extra content. Use AMC Premiere like its own personal YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? Because then they can run the ads on there if they're airing it on the website. Like if I go to AMC's website, you have all the ads there and stuff like that. They're going to be making a lot of money off of those ads. I don't know how that translates to the money or how that compares to the money they would make, with versus YouTube and stuff like that. But I would imagine if AMC said, we got all this bonus feature on AMC Premiere, all you got to do is sign up, pay the internet, whoop-de-whoop, or pay the bill and you have internet, I'm going over there. I'm going to check it out. You know what I'm saying? If I already got it or if I plan on getting it, I'm going to do it. So part of me thinks this is the early stages of a plan B, not a 100% we know for sure we're going to make this spin-off about Maggie Rhee. Because if it is a plan B, now we can see some of the positives. We can get her a little bit on The Walking Dead, and we get her in her own spin-off that also expands the world of The Walking Dead with what's going on with Georgie in that group. New stories, new characters, something that's not connected to the comics, something that's its own original thing. I know a lot of people want it to be the Commonwealth, but it could be its own thing outside of what the show already has. So then we can get these spin-offs, which connects beautifully with the story of her returning. It still keeps her story, but maybe it shows us where she went, what she was setting up, and then down the line, what story they have popping off after that. And again, the reason why I'm saying where she was and then what she's doing after is because then, remember, Norman Reedus and Melissa McBride have contracts now where they can bounce in and out of the other Walking Dead AMC properties, and they don't have to renegotiate. So then, Norman Reedus, right now, and Melissa McBride can make cameos in Maggie's spinoff. So it doesn't just become a Maggie-only spinoff. It is intertwined with the overall Walking Dead story that's unfolding. I think this is the beginning setup of a plan B for that, or at least maybe I'm being too hopeful. Now, you can read the full article. I don't want to go on and on about it, but it does say here that this is coming from Lauren Cohan. There may have been some conversations, but everything is so early days ambiguous. Me, as much as anybody, will have to see what happens. And some of the comments sound a little off when you're reading them. She talks about her contract negotiations. I don't even think it was bad. Cohan says of her contract talks with AMC that led to her decision to leave the series, where she has been one of its female leads since season 2. It was like, I've done the show for a long time. It was a long time to be in any character, and sometimes you just get quiet and listen to your inner guidance, and it's time to multitask. For now, the actress remains open to any sort of return to her time as fierce survivor leader Maggie Rhee. We'll see what happens, she says. Again, you can read this article, but now that we know what they were doing behind the scenes with Norman Reedus' contract and Melissa McBride's contract, it really feels like they were already negotiating these big contracts, and they weren't ready to pay her or enter into the contract that she needed for the stability at the time. And again, we don't know the finer details. It doesn't sound like it was a terrible fallout. I'm sure between a couple of them. There's probably a couple people at AMC that's like, F that bitch. You know what I mean? There's always those. We don't know the details, but it does sound like AMC is definitely sinking in money, and they're hedging a big bet against The Walking Dead lasting forever. Not just lasting forever, but growing, and staying a hit and staying a moneymaker. Now, for a little bit of bad news, Danai is being considered the next big character to go off of The Walking Dead. Now, this has a lot to do with speculation because her career is growing so big. And me personally, I would have to say, yeah, I'm a little worried about everything that AMC has going on and all the people they got to pay and all the people they got to pay big money to. The Walking Dead is a show that costs a lot of money just because of the production value. You can't just film down the street. Everything needs to look right. It needs to look authentic. It needs to look post-apocalyptic, in ruins. So it's going to cost money, whether it's real locations being set up by physical people and decorated and shit like that, or is it CGI? No matter what you do in the world of The Walking Dead, it's going to cost money. You know what I mean? I think that's probably one of the challenges the show faces when it comes to the budget. You can't just film a scene down at the candy store or the pizza shop, walking down the street. I mean, getting your permits, staging the extras. On top of that, you got to decorate everything. Everything's got to look authentic to this world. Now, Danai is definitely getting a lot of movie roles, and a lot of people like to point out Black Panther and Avengers, and I don't see those as threats. That's definitely a bump, and it's definitely something proud to add to her resume. But let's be real, her character is not one of the Avengers. She's not one of the leads that's going to be filming as much as the others. That's just insane. I mean, I think that's a great accomplishment. That character is a great role to have, but it's not meant to be someone who's on the screen fighting Thanos the whole time. You know what I'm saying? They got Iron Man to pay and Captain America, and they got all the Avengers. They got the Hulk and everyone else, Thor. I don't see the Avengers and or Black Panther, I don't see them as threats. Maybe Black Panther more so, because she will most likely have a lot to do. When it comes to the Avengers, there's just way too many characters, and there's just way too many characters that outweigh her when it comes to screen presence. And I'm not talking about talent. I'm talking about simply the characters themselves. I don't see that as a threat. I do see Black Panther, sequel, maybe. I don't know, maybe a movie or two coming out. I don't know how many movies they're working on. I know they're working on a sequel. I don't know how many after that, and I don't know if her role's going to get bigger. But I think that is the biggest threat. We may come to a point where we see AMC doing something similar with Danai as well, where you have her in and out of the story and maybe possibly cameoing in Maggie's spinoff in Rick's years later. However, this one's a bit trickier. You have Maggie and she's leaving for her reasons. You're going to start making reasons for everyone. It's going to make this story clunky. The storytelling is going to be shoddy, having all these characters in and out. Eventually, you're just going to have to kill them off. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have Maggie out doing her thing, not on the show, and then Michonne too. Who's next? You know? And I know these are probably the two main ones that, because they locked down the others, Norman and Melissa McBride. I don't know. I see Michonne as a character who, it's harder to play around with this character. Like, you could easily slide Maggie to the side in a side story, because she has her daughter, she has her son. And I know Maggie's got a kid too, but the Grimes legacy needs to stay on the main show. Or at least I feel it does. Taking Judith away, taking RJ away, I don't know. I think Michonne is vital to the world of The Walking Dead, and AMC should do what they need to do to put her there. Now, I'll tell you this right now, and you guys know I freaking love Michonne. I love Danai. I think she is absolutely awesome. If it was revealed that she was like, yeah, the show made me famous, now pay me a buttload of money or I'm out of here, I'd never support her in anything she's ever done again. You know what I'm saying? I would completely blacklist her. I don't care how entertaining I find. I'm harsh when it comes to entertainers. I just am. When it comes to someone with that. Now, I don't think, I've seen her in a bunch of interviews and I've heard people talk about her that know her personally. I don't think she's that type of person, so I'm not worried about it at all. But I'll tell you right now, if there's anyone who finds fame in something and then they're like, pay me way more than I know you could pay me, they try to break the bank when it comes to that, or I'm out. I just can't stand for that. But again, I don't think that's going on here. She just doesn't seem like the type of person. So I just wanted to put that out. If we hear anything more about Maggie, I'm definitely going to let you know. If we hear anything more about Danai, I'm definitely going to let you know. We should be getting a hint at if this is something we should worry about coming up in the end of season 9, because if they leave it to where she's a major part of what's coming up in season 10, then I don't see how they put her story off to the side unless they straight up kill her. A couple of other things before we close this out. The trial, the lawsuit with Frank Darabont and AMC got a trial date. I'm following this story. I'm going to leave the link down below. We're not going to go into the details because it's boring as hell. Everyone is saying they're winning, so I don't know who's really winning, but it's got a date for, I know it's up here somewhere, May 11th of 2020. We're going to keep an eye on that because honestly, maybe it's nothing, and then maybe it's something for us to worry about because it could hit AMC right in the, right. Ooh, I don't even want to talk about it. Anyway, I think the people who should get the money that they're owed should get the money that they're owed. I'm just being selfish. I don't want my show to be obliterated because AMC was greedy and they held money and now like fans are going to pay for it in the end. Yeah, I'm being selfish. Anyway, The Walking Dead game and Telltale Games come to an end in March. I just want to let you guys know, maybe do a little poll if you guys want me to start streaming the Walking Dead video game, this one right here from formerly known as Telltale. If you want me to stream Skybound's The Walking Dead, at least we can start it soon, finally, and we'll run the gameplay all the way through until it lines up with the release of the final episode in March. If you want me to do that, let me know. The reason I'm saying I want to line it right up until the release is because I wanted to get the physical copy. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, and I'll just buy them digitally. Oh well, I just like having a physical copy. Sue me, I'm old school. So you guys let me know down below if that's something you'd be interested in. I'm definitely down for it. Once and for all, finally bang this out. And I'm excited to see how it ends. Either the character's going to die and that is the end, or it's going to have a happy ending and that's the end, or there's going to be a hint of her story continuing on outside of the video game, which I'm very hopeful it will. Like I said before, I think Skybound saw Telltale Games, they were going under. I mean, they saw it. There's people that are coming out saying, I don't want to put anything out there, but trust me, there's people saying, people in the industry and people in certain people knew ahead of time behind the scenes that Telltale was going under, and I believe they made this the final season because they knew they could not continue and they couldn't have a story just end. You know what I mean? And then once Telltale ended in the middle of this season, then it was really like, oh shit, that's what we didn't want to happen. But anyhow, one last thing, a lot of people are talking about this Little Monsters. You look this up if you're a fan of the zombie genre. If you're not, why are you still listening? It's an Australian zombie comedy, and they're saying it's great. Now, I'm not going to go into this because it's not even released yet. I guess it was aired in Sundance Film Festival, and it was picked up by Hulu and Neon. I never even heard of Neon, but yeah, Hulu. If you have Hulu, keep an eye out for this. And if it does come out and you watch it and it's really good, definitely let me know. I'll try to find a way to watch this, but I'm hearing really good things about this. It is called Little Monsters, and it's a raunchy zombie comedy. All right, so that's it for today's Daily Dead. Don't forget to leave a comment down there because who knows if when we start picking the random prize subscriber giveaways and stuff, we might pick this video for that. So leave a comment, any comment, and leave your thoughts and opinions down in that comment box, especially about everything going on in what we discussed, and if you want to start the Clementine's story in The Walking Dead on this channel for live streams. A lot of the video game content is being pushed over to the Ronnie Hayes channel. That's the my personal YouTube channel. But we will do the Walking Dead games on here, at least for the initial playthroughs. If I ever just randomly play them to play them, those will be on the Ronnie Hayes channel. So you'll want to stay subscribed to both. It's kind of like a companion channel. So thoughts and opinions in that comment box. I'm done talking. I fucking love you, sons of bitches. Good night. And it's your turn. Don't leave us, Lauren. And you better not leave us either, Danai. Sweet Jesus, don't do it.